Yeah, good day YouTubers, Tinker O'Toole again here with another video. Today we're going to talk about this Rover log splitter. It's a 33 tonne log splitter, as you can see. There it is there, LS33T, 33 tonne log splitter from Rover. It has a nice little motor on it, 270 cc's overhead valve with your standard choke settings, and I prefer not electric start because it's just another problem with the battery, so pull start's fine. Don't like electric start, got to worry about changing battery, so it starts first or second pull. Could not be happier with that. Now the other thing is there's a oil storage tank. Part of the oil storage tank is a construction down here, this part here. This part is 800 millimeters in length. It's 200 mils high and 150 mil wide, or 6 inches by 8 inches in the Imperial. Its capacity will hold 25 litres, but you've got a dipstick here and you only put 20 litres in that. So the dry weight of the unit is 295 kg. So by the time you put another 20 litres of hydraulic oil in here, another 4-5 litres of fuel, and if the motor itself holds a couple of litres, you're looking around about 330 kilograms. Quite a very heavy unit. Now, one of the other things that I'd really like to discuss about these is that you've got to be very, very careful buying some of these cheap Chinese ones or these no-name brands, because the ram it's on here is the cylinder is a 5-inch cylinder with a 2-inch ram. So that's the hydraulic ram here, 2 inches, 50 mil. And that will set the tonnage. The hydraulic pressure is governed. You can't over pressurize it, otherwise you'll burst hoses, seals, all sorts of problems. So be very, very careful if you're thinking of buying a Chinese copy or just a Chinese one, because a lot of them will lie about the tonnage. Now they might say it's 40 tonne or 45 or 50 or 60. If you had a 60 tonne log splitter, it's going to weigh over 400 kilos to even maybe 500. It's going to have a huge cylinder on it. It's probably going to be more like 200 mils in diameter, at least probably 8 inches wide. And you'll find out that your ram is probably going to be at least 70 mils in diameter. If you go see something or advertised on the internet and it'll say log splitter 50 tonne, and then the ram's only 40 millimeters, forget it. You're being conned. Can't stress that enough, because I have seen quite a lot that turn around and say that they are 50 or 60 tonne, and they are not. So be very careful of that. I don't know how they try and calculate their tonnage, but with hydraulic cylinders, it depends on the ram and the size of the cylinder, which will determine the tonnage. So be very careful of that. There is calculators out there on the internet if you're not too sure about that. But if you go to a reputable dealer, I don't think you'll have any problems. But if you're buying off the internet and you're buying some Chinese copy, be very, very careful. That's all I can say about that. It does come with a fairly large oil filter on this side over here. So you do have a large oil filter on this side here. So it's good to change that every couple of years. Depends how much you use it. I only use it a couple of times a year, so I'm not a high-end user. But I do use it to split all my timber, especially the large stuff. So what I'm going to do is to lay it down, and we'll quickly go around the other side. We'll go for a walk through here, and we'll lay it down, and we'll just look at the controls and that again. So it's actually quite heavy. It's almost 1.8 meters in height. So all you've got to do, you've got you got your safety lock here, which is this little pin that's here. Drop that down. Now, this is actually quite heavy because it's made out of very heavy duty steel. So I'm just going to lay it down into the horizontal position. There it is in the horizontal position. Right. So in the horizontal position, it's very easy to operate. As I said before, that'll go forwards. The moment you take your hand off, it'll stop. But if you pull it back, it'll stay in that position and it'll click off automatically. But I don't have it that way because when I release the ram, as the ram comes back, I stop it a couple of inches past the log. I've got 200 millimeters left of travel on the ram. The ram goes 640 mil. I only roughly use about 400 mil of travel because that's the largest log that goes into my fire, about 400 mil. So, yeah. Look, it's built really well. It's very heavy. Takes a bit of effort to tilt it. As I said, it is quite heavy. Sometimes if it's a bit too heavy, get someone to help you. I've never owned a hydraulic log splitter before, so I can't comment on how good this one is compared to others, but I'm very happy with it. And usually if I'm happy with something, it's usually, I've got a fairly high demand on quality. The other thing that it has built in to protect the ram is this little red cover that you see here. It extends out quite a bit, so the ram comes right in here. If there's a log or something, it's not going to hit the seal of the hydraulic unit, so it won't damage the cylinder. So that's just a bit of protection for the cylinder. That's probably about it. And as I said, make sure that this, whatever you're thinking of buying, if you're thinking of buying a 40 tonner or a 50 tonner, as I say, use this for reference. This is a 5-inch cylinder internally. The length, we'll just measure the length. You're looking at about 720 mil. So the actual outside width, it's about 140 millimeters in width, but the internal, I think it's 5-inch internal. So be careful of that. You don't want to be paying for a 60 tonner, and it's not a 60 tonner. Just be very careful. Anyway, that's probably all I can say. I'm quite welcome. The only other thing that I would say, there are some models out there that have little ramps that you can load the logs on, and but this is fairly simple mechanism, this little cradle that's here. So you can get some really elaborate like self-loading cradles and that sort of thing. So I feel they're probably a bit gimmicky. If the logs are on the ground, I've got to lift them no matter what. So I just lift them from the ground and put them in there and split them and throw them back out. So I don't need no cradle to help me, some little hinged cradle. So you'll see them. I've never used one, but look, I'm old school. I like everything simple, nothing fancy, straightforward, less things to break down. And as I was saying before, I don't like the idea of having a battery operated starting, because this thing starts so easy. It's not very hard to start. You don't need to be Superman to pull on it. It's only a 300, just under 300cc 4-stroke motor. Very easy to pull and start. So look, that's the Rover 33-ton log splitter. Very heavy. The other thing is, even to push it around on the ground, I use the ride-on lawnmower to tow it around the property and split that way. It's kept in the garage, keep it out of the weather. And yeah, it looks brand new, and it'll probably look like that in 10 years. Look, thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up. Bye for now.